This is what I do when I'm feeling burnt out. There are 3 steps that I usually take to overcome this phase, the burnout phase, when you're feeling like you cannot be bothered or you're just too tired and overwhelmed. The first thing I do is I acknowledge that I'm in a phase. And when I am in this burnout phase, I make sure to not believe everything that I think. Because listen, your mind is a factory. Its job is to wander. Its job is to create thoughts and to retrieve thoughts from what's happening around you, from your past. So when I am experiencing some form of burnout, maybe because I've been working too much, maybe because I'm working on too many things, or maybe because there's just too much demand and I feel like I can't keep up, my mind is going to inevitably begin retrieving the thoughts that match and align with how I'm feeling. So for example, let's say I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling stressed. Then the thoughts that my mind is going to retrieve are the thoughts that confirm the way that I'm feeling. So what happens is my insecurities begin to rise up to the surface of my conscious attention. So I'm going to be having destructive thoughts. I might be thinking, I'm really not good enough. There isn't time. I don't think I can do it. You begin to doubt your own abilities, right? These are automatic thoughts. They aren't the truth. And the first thing you need to do is you need to stop and don't believe these thoughts. Acknowledge that you're having them, but that you're only having them because of this phase, because of this burnout phase that you're experiencing. After you've acknowledged them and that you're in a phase, then comes the next step. And that is, I question my line of thought. I begin to ask myself questions. Is what I'm thinking right now true? Is it true that I am not good enough? Is it true that I can't do it? Is it true? Is there evidence for this? Or is there evidence against it? I begin to remind myself of times when I wasn't in this phase of burnout and how I truly felt about myself and all the accomplishments that I've achieved. Then comes the last step, and that is journaling. Now, I know you have heard of journaling, maybe you've even tried it before, but hear me out for a second. When you're experiencing an influx of emotions, when you're in a burnout state, right? And you feel like there's too much happening around you and you're overwhelmed, don't make the mistake of thinking you can think your way out of it. You can't think positive and think your way out of burnout. You need to allow yourself to express exactly what you're thinking and what you're feeling. But the problem is, if you express how you're thinking or what you're thinking and how you're feeling out loud and to people, you give power to that emotional state. You make it more real than it should be. So don't complain about the burnout that you're feeling. I've made this mistake before, and it just leads me to confirm the negative thoughts that I'm having, and I begin to find proof for them. Instead, write down exactly how and exactly what you are feeling. That way you still have an outlet to express yourself, but you're not being burdened by believing it. You can literally, in front of the paper, you can literally look at how you're feeling and how you're thinking and what you're thinking about in front of you. Then you can begin to question it, or even to choose to move on and say, okay, now that I've expressed how I'm thinking and, how I'm feeling, what's my next step? What do I want to do? How am I going to move forward and overcome this feeling? This method has completely transformed the way I approach the burnout phase. And look, we all experience it. Everyone goes through it. But I thought, I'd share this with you because I found it extremely helpful. Number 1, acknowledge that you're in a burnout phase. Number 2, question your negative thoughts. And number 3, express your feelings and thoughts on paper. Give it a try. And if it works, only if it works, come back to this video, share it with some friends so they can benefit too. All right? All the best. God bless you and take care.